From camp last year, I definitely feel way better. I feel more comfortable. It almost feels like the game kind of slowed down a little bit. I mean, getting adapted kind of to NFL speed. So, I mean, it's a lot better than last year, I feel like. So that's exciting.
It feels like this is the second practice session where I noticed you kind of did the one, stayed out there with the twos. Are they trying to catch you up on reps, or just make sure you get every rep you can? Or
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I just kind of do what they tell me to do. So, I mean, there's probably it's a little bit of a ramp up period. I mean, the first couple days, they want to ease me back in because I didn't have OTAs. So, they're going to take it easy, make sure it's all going good, and then kind of just ramp up my reps from there. So it's doing good though.
That's got to be a good sign, though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure. I mean,
that they feel you're able to take on that workload.
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of playing it safe. Kind of hearing it from they're just listening to me and kind of how it feels, and it's been feeling great so far. So they kind of just ramp it up a little.
What did you need? Coming out on the first practice, was there any I hope this feels normal, or you knew it was going to feel normal, and how has it felt through 8 practices?
Yeah, I mean, probably the first couple practices, I was always like, shoot, I hope this is going to feel good. I mean, I've heard with my injury, a lot of soreness comes with it usually, but I haven't really noticed any of that, and it's pretty much normal. I mean, there's nothing really. It doesn't bother me really at all, so that's a really good sign. And yeah, but I'm going into whatever practices, like practice 8, it's been feeling really good, and it's great to be back out there.
Obviously, from afar, we feel like that's daunting to have 2 different foot injuries in the same year. But I'm sure you've talked to doctors, trainers. Is there anything that gives you confidence that was more of a fluke than something you're going to have to battle?
Yeah, it's definitely it's a lot of luck into that. It's not the greatest luck ever, and there's also technique stuff that I can fix so it doesn't happen again. And just changing up how I play a little bit, how I plant on my feet a little bit. Having different orthotics in my feet or my shoes, so I have the right weight on the right bones and not putting too much pressure on one side of the foot or anything like that. So the training staff's doing a great job, helping me stay out there on the field. So they've done a tremendous job.
Was there any similarity between the 2 injuries? Did they happen in a similar way, even though they were different?
I'm not really sure. I'm not even sure on the second one. I mean, the film, you can't really see it because it was after the play, and I don't really know how it happened. So, but the first one, it was definitely my toe got caught in the turf. So.
And luck aside, do you think technique could have prevented either one of those? This is an interesting
I don't
thing
know.
to hear. I've never really thought about it.
Yeah, I don't really know. It's kind of just bad luck, I think. But I mean, I'm doing, trying to fix how I play a little bit, so it's, my chances of getting hurt aren't as high. So.
How long does it take you to get that out of your head, though? Okay, I need to change it to this, but then I need to not think about what I'm doing and how I'm planning my team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really thinking of it when I'm playing, more just individual stuff. I'm trying to perfect my craft basically, and doing that, and yeah. So I don't really think about it when we're actually out there in team.
Hey, last year, if you remember, I mean, you brought a certain intensity to training camp that I think people really liked for the most part, except Dennis had to stop practice one time. But are you still the same guy, or have you evolved in any way? I mean,
yeah, I'd say I'm kind of the same guy, but obviously got to keep our teammates safe and play smart, and I'm still going to keep that aggressive side to me, and that's kind of my trademark of how I play, and that's how I've always played, and how I envision how O-linemen should play. So
James Hurst talked about that the other day, the evolution of trying to walk that line of not being too aggressive maybe, and pass pro maybe, and oversetting or
yeah, that's something I've really tried to work on, especially in the pass game. I mean, you can't play super aggressive like that in the pass game. You got to kind of play relaxed, let the guy come to you. I can't be throwing my hands out there too early and stuff like that. So you got to just kind of learn to kind of tone it back a little bit, but still playing like a controlled aggressiveness.
And then how's that going?
Good. No, even from from the first practice this year, I've definitely noticed there's probably a little bit of rust coming back. So, but kind of just trying to really use my technique to beat these guys. So it's been good.
And the running game, obviously, you want to be ferocious for as long as possible during the play, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, do you ever think about, well, what am I going to do if some guy just doesn't handle it well, and it's only practice, like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of, I just play my game, and if they don't like it, then so be it.
I was talking to Doug Marone. He said, he's seen before where people miss time and then it kind of feels like, oh, now we got to go back to. But he said he was really pleasantly surprised that it didn't feel like that with you. Did you get the same sense that you were happy that the growth you showed by the end of last season?
Yeah, I would.
carried over?
Yeah, I mean, I really just tried to control what I can control. I tried to do the stuff during the off season I normally do, without using my feet. So, I mean, you could still do a ton of stuff football-wise. I mean, you can still work your upper body, you can still hit the weight room, you can still work your punch and stuff like that. So, I just really control what I can control, and, it's been good. I mean, I definitely feel like I've taken a step from last year, so just want to continue to climb and keep progressing.
When we very generically refer to players as like raw or developmental or anything like that, what in your specific case, what did you really need to hone or refine to be ready to be playing every down in the NFL?
Yeah, my pass protection, probably my hands and pass protection need to improve, and I think they have improved since even the first day this year. So just continuing to work at that and keep really perfecting my craft in pass pro and even run blocking. I think that's going to help a ton.
And you were able to to stay in the exact kind of shape you wanted to stay in when you were off your feet too?
Yeah, so I mean it's hard. It's hard when you can't really do too much running or anything like that, but I mean you gotta do what you can do. So I mean I was hitting those echo bikes over there a lot whenever I could. We're still working out a ton. I hired a private chef to help me with my weight because I needed to lose a little weight, so I got a chef, nutritionist, did all that, and trying to get down to a good playing weight.
Trevor, have you been doing any work at all at right tackle?
No, I just left.
I was going to say, did they ever talk to you about that?
No, just
stay
left.
in one spot, get it down.
So, I mean, it's obviously a very compelling situation. People observing you because you missed a lot of your rookie year and you come in as the blindside protector of the #1 free agent acquisition for the team. I mean, how do you process all that? And, how much has Derek helped you with it, or all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, Derek's been great. He's been great so far. He's a great leader. I mean, day one, him walking in, you could tell he's got that kind of leadership trait that you want in a quarterback. So he's been great, and yeah.
Hey, Trevor, before you got that opportunity to start at the end of last season, as you were coming back, they kind of had you in that swing tackle role. How valuable were those opportunities for you in terms of getting back out of the field?
Yeah, it was good. It was good to kind of get some reps under my feet of an actual NFL game. Coming in as that extra blocker, it was good. It was good to get some reps at that, and then that last game of the season, I think that helped a ton. Just kind of what I need to. What I needed to work on in the off season. Obviously, I couldn't do as much as I wanted, but like even the stuff I could do, I still, did.
Do you feel like, I know the injuries are part of the equation there in that last game, but how did you feel about the performance overall in that first real big opportunity?
Good for first start. I mean, I thought it went pretty well. There's definitely stuff you can learn from it, and there's some positives to it too. So. It was great to have that, kind of under my belt going into the off season and then into this year.
Is that kind of where the pass pro, talking about what you were just mentioning about wanting to improve in the pass pro, did you get a little bit of that, or a little bit more context to that?
Yeah. I think it kind of helped just kind of how NFL pass rushers are in an actual game versus like a practice. I mean, it's a little different when they don't know it's a pass every time. So You know, it was really good to kind of go out there and play an actual NFL game.
You seem like a guy who enjoys when the pads go on,
Oh yeah.
as opposed to the
Oh
non-athletic.
yeah. Yeah, that's real football. That's when you know, when we first put pads on. That's kind of the first day of real football. That's.
Is there a part of you who wants to mix it up? I mean, we're all waiting, you know, in the media for you to.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, just briefly getting back to my previous question about Derek, what would you say is the healthiest, like, mental approach for you to being in that spotlight? You know what I mean? Having that storyline surround you as the left tackle for the new quarterback. You know
Yeah.
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
that's obviously that'd be a goal of mine to do, and hopefully I can do that. But you know, I kind of don't really worry about that. I kind of just come in every day and just kind of work as hard as I can and perfect my craft, and then let the coaches decide who's that role. So I'm just gonna come in and do my job and do it the best I can.
Where do you feel you're coming in this year, maybe most ahead or most improved from where you were in your first year?
Probably that pass protection, playing with more technique versus college. It's a little bit different. The guys aren't nearly as good, so you got to play with technique and really just working that. So.
When you say technique, is that like hand placement?
Yeah, a lot of hand stuff. Yeah, hands and kind of set like your sets and how you push off your feet and all that stuff.
Does that change based upon? I mean, I think you probably know, but based upon the edge rusher type that you know you're going up against.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely changes. I mean, depending on kind of if the guy's a power rusher, the guy's a speed rusher, and kind of just stuff like that. The guy how he uses his hands, how his get off is, all that different stuff. So you got to be able to switch up your sets, and that's really gonna mess with the D lineman, kind of mess with their rush a little bit. So mess with their rush pattern.
Would you say that your physique or anything interesting physically has changed? Just with maybe the different kind of a more advanced strength training and dietary stuff and whatever other training you get in the NFL?
I'd say maybe a little. My body definitely feels better than what it has in the past. I think coming from college, I think my body definitely feels better. They they know how to give your body a rest. They know when you need to kind of chill out and take some rest, take some time, let your muscles recover and all that. So yeah, they do a great job in there.
But you haven't necessarily broken any personal records in bench press or whatever?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trevor. Appreciate it. Had a UNI.